Priceless.
Welcome back to week number 4, episode 4. Gentlemen, how you doing?
Good. What's up, everybody?
Good. How was the brother's week, man? Derik, how was your week, brother?
Man, I can't complain, brother. Man, just trying to put one foot in front of the other, keep it moving. Life is good. Kids are good. I don't know about y'all. I got a whole house full of kids right now for Halloween. You know what I mean? So you might hear, kids running around in the background. We try to keep it to a minimum, but just enjoying family, man. Everything's been good, man. How y'all fellas doing?
Good. We got a live show, man. So we're live, so
Yeah, we got to deal with that, right? We got to get that.
Yeah.
I'm father.
Yeah. Brother Kelvin, how was your week, Kelvin?
I'll tell you one thing. It was cold and it was rainy. I mean, New York, it's we just skipped right over the fall. It's brick outside. I mean, it's terrible. Had frost on the car this morning, but I'm thankful.
Yeah.
Everything. You know what? If we're healthy, I'm good with it, so I can roll with it. But the week was good, uneventful though, but it was cool.
Rod, how about you, brother?
Good. I had a great week. I had a birthday this week, so that was great.
Right, happy birthday, Rod.
Yeah, thank you. Got to see another year. God bless me with another year. But nothing else other than that I could talk about this week. You know what I'm saying? Just did my regular stuff. You know what I'm saying? Took care of some stuff. Got things done.
Cool. That's what. Yeah. Uneventful week. It was kind of cool this week. I can't really complain. Like you said, Kelvin's right. It got cold, super cold, like ASAP, real quick.
Yeah.
It seemed like it rained all October too. It's like every day it rained.
Yeah.
But like we always say, you don't have to shovel rain. So
nah.
Get to me in January, man. When I can't take it no more, man. February.
Yo, I gotta ask you a question real quick. Like, how many rags do y'all have in your bathroom?
Let me see. Carry the one. Just a couple. A couple. I'll go crazy with it. I got a decent rotation though.
You got a decent rotation?
Yeah.
A lot of guys don't have a decent rotation of rags. A lot of guys don't have, they don't. Underwear, all kind of shit like that. A lot of men don't have that. A lot of men got a lot of like track marks in the underwear and stuff like that.
Skid marks.
That's why I only buy dark underwear. And I buy some stripes and stuff like that. So I don't I want nobody knowing that. But
that's a struggle, man.
but one time, what happened with me though, like when you ever first move in with somebody and whatnot, and they rearrange your stuff. So my lady rearranged my 2 rags. So people don't know about having 2 rags. 2 rags, you have a face rag and you have an ass rag.
Yeah.
My girl mixed my face rag with my ass rag and then put my ass rag to my face.
Oh, man.
But you see what I'm saying?
You got color coding.
Yeah, but the thing is, you always take the face rag to the ass, but you can't take the ass rag to the face.
Nah.
No, that's a violation right there, man. Moving my stuff around like that, man.
But it worked out for me. I don't got no gray hairs, really. My shit ain't no dye, nothing.
I don't want that dye, though, brother.
Yeah. Yo, so this week we got election week, but we got this holiday black people don't remember. I don't know if anybody want to speak on it. Anybody want to talk about this holiday? Do you remember? Anybody remember this holiday's coming Monday?
Black Solidarity Day, man.
Yeah, I remember it. I remember it as a kid. I don't know too many people celebrating it now, but I remember basically it was an extra day off from school or from work, and it always fell on a Monday, so you got an extended weekend. You know what I'm saying?
Excuse me, for those viewing at home, you guys all did go to like black schools, I believe. Is that?
Yeah, I went to all black public schools. You know what I'm saying? My whole school career.
Y'all had it good. I didn't have that, man. I didn't have that. I had predominantly white or mixed, and we didn't celebrate Black Solidarity Day at our school system. So that meant we had to take the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was a automatic absence. We was just like, nah, Black Solidarity Day. We just taking that.
Yeah. Well, only person back in my day was my man Milton. He was the only one. He was Milton Milton. We used to skip school, but Milton's on some real pro-black shit. That's my man. But his pops was on some Malcolm X shit way back then, man.
Yeah. Can you imagine trying to take calling your job to take Black Solidarity Day off today? Can you imagine that?
Yo, they're gonna be like, take a personal day. Yeah, no doubt.
They can say you can take all the days you want. You don't got no job.
right.
You can take Black Solidarity Day. You can take Malcolm X birthday. You can take everything you want because you're fired.
Yeah. Okay, so listen, go into it a little bit because again, I grew up in Amityville School District, which was a predominantly black school, and we never had it. So give me a little bit about Black Solidarity Day.
So basically, it's a day of recognizing that your blackness. To me, that's what I'm gonna put in a nutshell. Like they say, put it where the goats can get it. It's a day you recognize your blackness. Day you're supposed to support blind black business. Day you're supposed to spin black. Also learn about your culture and stuff like that. So that's what it was. It seemed like it faded out right after the crack era.
Yeah. Right. Nah, I think a little before that, it faded out.
Yeah, it might have faded out before that. Yeah.
Once people started calling in for the day off, I think they kind of shut it down when they started realizing their job was on stake.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you stop and think about it, that was the beauty of it, though. You know what I mean? It was a chance to make the world miss us for a day. You know what I mean? And show what we brought to the table economically and, with regard to work-wise and, and everything. So, yeah.
But the thing, that always concerned me because we used to talk about that a lot in the barbershop and we talk about, I remember one time they sent a group text around saying like, we're not going to buy from Walmart or Target or any of these places. And we're going to show them Jamaica Avenue. We're going to show them the impact of the black dollar. And what we would do is hold the money and then we would go back and double up like a week or so later. And it was like,
and repeat the whole purpose.
And I mean, realistically, I don't know that we have another card to play because we don't manufacture anything. We don't run or control an industry. And that's harder. It's harder to do. We all try to buy black and support black, but then it's like they know they can wait us out.
Right.
They put the right sale up.
It's game over. Yeah.
We're right back in there. We're right back in there.
And we're the most forgiving people because I realize when we want to do something, I don't care what happens, we will actually go through with it. And we'll go back and we'll return. People get us back all the time. They'll bring us back as customers. You walk out of a place and you're like, I'm done with this place. And them chicken wings go on sale or something like that.
Or the new song come out.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
And then we're back to square one.
Because we really
don't. Or the new Jordans drop. You drop the new Jordans.
Yeah, and drop the new Jordans.
Exactly.
Or drop the same old Jordans again.
Right. And so it's like we can't ever hold anybody's feet to the fire because they know, if you shut down Walmart or Target, what does that leave us with in a lot of cases? You know what I mean? And so that's the tough part about it. But as far as the solidarity is concerned, although I didn't have a day for it, my parents always made sure that we knew who we were. My father used to say, if you forget you're black, you be the only one. He was very, very conscious of that, to let you know, I don't care where you are, you still gonna be black and you still gonna have to deal with the things that affect you because you are black. So, I'm glad you guys had that, and maybe it's something we should restart or try to get, implemented again.
Or just you ain't gotta implement it, just do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They're trying to do it like what a lot of corporations, the organization I work for now, they're doing the whole thing with Juneteenth. So, you've seen the governor jumped in there, New York governor jumped in, the mayor's talking about it. So they're trying to do they're trying to bring it back up. And the thing is trying to be more conscious of it. If you realize it got to be economics, it got to be some kind of education with it when it comes down to the economics part of it. And really, and like you said, Kelvin, the best thing is we don't have no industry. So we say all this stuff like before, like hold back the vote, blah, 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 with the money, but we don't have no airports. We have no grocery stores. You know what I'm saying? We don't have a lot of stuff before we would say that it's an idea, and I think we could start working on it, but I don't know where we see it in the next 10 years, how it will be. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of funny, but they are starting to go back to, they are trying to get some kind of holiday. I don't know if they ever get on the federal level. Definitely not.
Well, this is what I think we need to do. We need to come up with one product that we actually own and operate, and I think I have the idea. those rags that you have in your bathroom, D, make sure that you don't ever have that incident again. We're gonna come up with a specific rag to help you distinguish, you know.
Make it red, black, and green one, and then a white only one. That's crazy. But
the way I see it too is okay, we gotta buy necessities, right? You know, you got to get your food, you got to get your toilet paper, you got to get your paper towels. But the thing is, what we got to hold back on is basically investing in non-necessities, things that we don't need, shiny things we don't need. You know what I'm saying? And some companies that basically seek to the community as a consumer, right? Like, you know, there's a lot of corporate let's take Gucci, for instance. I mean, Black people spend a lot of money in Gucci's. Stop buying it. Get Gucci to contribute to our community. And invest in our community, give some of it back. But the bottom line is you got to show your buying power at some point by not buying from them, so they can come crawling back to us.
And we got to stop. We got to stop our entertainers from promoting their stuff.
Correct.
You know, free of charge, and you know, because a lot of people didn't know about this stuff until some people, you know, because those are really old products back in the day, Gucci and all Louis Vuitton. That stuff been around for a long time. And then when the industries get a hold of it and people start putting into their songs or their verses, does it? I want to say this really quickly. This happened to me, and I just want to know how you fellas would have handled this. Anybody from New York knows that the Long Island Railroad will take you from Penn Station, and usually if you're coming heading east, it goes to Jamaica Avenue, which is a hub, or Sutton Boulevard. And so one day I'm sitting there coming back, and there's a white guy sitting in front of me, and his two adult children are standing up, okay, and they don't have a seat. Now, for those that don't know, a lot of Black people get off the train at Sutton Boulevard. So his daughter and son can't get a seat, and I hear him say to them, "Don't worry, he's getting off in Jamaica." Okay, and so. He doesn't say it to me, he says it to them, but he's saying it about me. It would make it so bad, I was getting off in Jamaica. That's what made it so bad. so I was wondering, because I told my boys about it. He's like, you should have stayed on the train. And when I used to live on Long Island, I would have stayed on the train, but it bothered me. I didn't know how I should have handled that. Now, I could have made some snide remark, which is usually my natural inclination, but it was a bad look. It was bad. Have you been in that situation, or what would you have done in that situation?
Oh man,
the truth is the truth, man. I don't think we need to worry about where we come from, man, where we live, and all of that, man. He's trying to make you feel bad about you. Nah, man. Where you at is where you at. You know what I mean?
Well, it wasn't to me. It didn't. First of all, let me say this, which some people may not know. My understanding is the most homeowners in New York City live in Queens.
Exactly.
The most Black homeowners live in Queens. So it's no indictment against going to the Sutton Boulevard or whatever. The fact that he was able to say that, or the fact that he did say it with me sitting right there, I got to admit it was disturbing. I kind of felt like, he served and I should have put it back over the net.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me explain something.
Just because he saw it, are you upset because he said something or because he knew something? Because I've written the Long Island Railroad a lot too, and I'm not gonna lie. If I sit and profile somebody, I could probably figure out where they're getting on too. You know what I mean? So I've done it before, and you just kind of hang around like, oh yeah.
But for people that don't know, you transfer. You could transfer to another train at Jamaica.
Could have.
You know what I'm saying? So.
But prove a point. You know what I mean? Just prove a point.
I was gonna stay on that train and just have to take the L. I was gonna stay on that train for my people. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna... I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Nah, that's all right. I tell people all the time too. The home value in Queens sometimes is twice the home value in Long Island too.
Exactly.
You got people. You got people that own homes in Queens that probably worth like $700,000-$800,000.
Beautiful.
You know what I'm saying?
That's my block. I got a raggedy house on the block for me right now, listed for $869.
Yeah. Wow. I believe that, and they're probably going to get it. They're probably going to get it.
Easy. I'm happy. I hope they sell it raggedy shit because I'm sitting on some paper, so I'm like I'm good. Sell that shit.
Yeah, absolutely. And then that guy sitting on that train probably going to a house, not to knock it, but it's probably maybe $450,000, maybe touching $500,000.
Right, exactly. His house isn't as expensive as those houses out in Queens.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't even think that far ahead. I was just saying it's interesting. I was like, how they actually think about it. Like, you know, you just feel like all black people get, it's almost like from a sociological standpoint, all the gentrification and stuff, like these areas are just mapped out so you can say who's going where. But,
they
you know,
right. Why you gonna get upset at him? He's pointing out the obvious. They are. This is like New York is very segregated. Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah, it is.
So hypothetically, if I would have said, how do you know I'm getting off at Jamaica?
Because
then we in it then, right?
No, you embarrass him then.
Yeah,
you embarrass
him.
Like, you know, for him being like basically a bigot and racist. So let me ask you a question, since it is kind of chilly. Kelvin, you brought that cold up right now, right? I know Rod and Derik, y'all got kids, and you know, Rod, you got a lot of kids. You got a lot of Derik got kids in the background right now.
I got kids, man. I got kids all over.
So since it's cold, do you let your kids turn up the heat in your house?
Hell no.
I wish a kid would touch the thermostat in my house. They'll lose their arm. You
put money on that bill. I'm sorry.
Nah, you bet exactly. If you ain't paying no rent in here, you better not touch that thermostat. You know what I'm saying?
My kids don't even know what thermostat's at.
Nah. At one time, I was thinking about putting a lockbox on the thermostat.
Oh my
God! Looking right at it, their mind just don't even see it. It's just.
Nah. What's that thing on the wall he keeps talking about that he don't let nobody touch?
Right, now you ask the question. You ask questions right now.
Let me tell you something. The law says that you're supposed to have heat as of October 1st. Not in my house. We push that shit all the way to November 1st. You better not even. You better put a hoodie on in the house or something.
Figure that out, right?
No, my man Bob, know my father well. You couldn't touch that damn heat in the house, boy. You better borrow some socks, a jacket, a damn hat, a scarf. Get on the blanket. Ain't no heat coming on this house. You make your own heat. You make your own heat. Ain't no way you touch a black man's thermostat. No way.
I have my wife under pressure sometimes. She be kind of nervous. Can I turn on the heat? I be like, it ain't November 1st. You ain't turning on the heat. Right. Why not? I pay bills in here. I don't care. Don't touch that heat.
And leave it lights.
We don't even want to set a tone in here for that.
Right. Because you thought about turning the heat.
You thought about it, yeah.
Oh man, leaving the lights on, all kind of stuff. Running in and out the house.
Yeah.
Don't leave
that light thing.
Yo, I remember one time, like I used to tell my son, if you know he before he went to bed every night, if he made sure all the lights were on, I give him a little extra in his allowance. We got to get the electric bill down. I'm not exaggerating. My son had the electric bill, no exaggeration, down to $65. In a house, not an apartment, in a house.
I hear that.
Yo, I raised my son well. My son says, y'all better cut those lights out now.
How much money you giving allowance though? Because you know to offset that. How much money you giving allowance?
I gave him extra 10. I gave him extra 10.
All right. Yeah, that's pretty good. You know what I mean?
That's a good look. That's a good extra 10. That was about where I was at. I think my sister and I used to get $6, but we had a work stoppage for a minute. And so what my mother did was that belt just broke the union. Like after that.
Oh man!
But these kids they don't know about the belt. That's crazy.
Oh, let me tell you something. I want to honor my mother right now because I don't know your respective mothers, but my mother was a first ballot Hall of Famer with the belt. You understand what I'm saying? Because before she came, a lot of people could only beat with one hand. My mother was ambidextrous. She could go left to right, behind the back.
Kelvin.
If you go,
your mom's had the belt crossover. She had the belt crossover.
If you go to the Beaton Museum, they have her statue, and I accepted the award posthumously. My mother, and I would just say this lastly: what my mother was able to do that a lot of young mothers can't do. My mother did not beat you because she was angry. My mother beat you because she did wrong. See, some people would just they lose it and beat their kids. No. I did the worst thing you could do in the world, in life, and everybody that is listening to this knows this. I stole from my mother. I just want to confess it. I stole from my mother. What happened was, we were back in the day. You know, you had those cars with the dashboard. You could see a cross, right? It didn't have the console that in the middle. And so my mother was counting out her money. She just got cashed a check, and $20 fell over by my foot. Okay. I'd never seen that much money before in my life, right? So it's $20, and I took it and I put it in my sock. And I remember my mother saying, she's like, I just can't, I'm missing $20. $20. I don't know nothing about it. They had this game
Calvin.
years ago at a store called Play World called Domino Rally. And that game happened to cost $19.95. And so what happened was I went and bought the game. Now, back in the day, nothing could come in the house unless they bought it or knew where it came from. And my mother and father didn't play that trade in with your friend. No, you take back what they had and you bring back what we bought you, and that's it. Anyway, my mother figured out that I stole that $20.
How are you here today, Calvin? How are you here today?
That's a very good question. I'll say this. My mother put dinner on, cleaned the house. I'm outside playing with the dog, trying to stay out of her way. 2 hours later, my sister comes and gets me and says those infamous words, "Mommy wants you."
Oh.
And when I tell you, if you ever saw the movie The Green Mile, that's what it was like. I just started giving my friends a pound, saying goodbye to them. And what ensued after that was the greatest beating in the history of mankind.
Dead man walking.
When I tell you, the woman beat the fireworks out of me, okay?
Yeah.
And after that happened, I can't remember nothing else between then and right now. This is the next time I remember something. But that was the worst thing, because you know not to steal from your mother.
Now,
and that's what hurt her even worse.
Did you do the other thing though? That's what a really good thing. Did you try to grab the belt?
Days when it get cold, I can feel it.
Did you try to grab the
I
belt?
can still feel it.
Oh, don't you grab that belt.
Hello,
If
let me
you
ask you a
grab the
question.
belt, you could die.
Let me ask you
You
a
could
question.
die if you grab the belt.
Grab the belt.
Let me ask you a question.
Oh.
Let me ask you a question. Do black mothers treat their sons different than their daughters?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do
Anybody
black mothers treat
The black mothers treat their sons different than their daughters.
The only way that black mothers don't treat their sons different than their daughters unless they don't have a son. They only got girls.
Now,
So I'm saying yes.
But you know what you have to distinguish with this. The bigger question is, do they treat one better than the other? Because you would treat your son different than your daughter. But
Correct.
do they treat them better? Is there preferential treatment because it's a male? Because I mean, my father would tell me stuff when I was little, like, when I'm not here, you're the man of the house, or just things like that. And I felt no matter what, I'm going to try to protect my mother and my sister as a little boy. So I was treated different in that regard. But when it came to that belt action, my mother was an equal opportunist. So the question is, did they treat one better than the other?
So I don't know. That's a good question, man. I think it depends on the situation. I think it depends on the mother, because I don't know, man. I've seen some situations, man. If the father's not around, you know, it could go either way, man. You know.
So I mean, like, you have like some mothers, right? I noticed, like, they'll leave a plate for their son, right, and make sure they eat. They're like, oh, you don't trust no women out there eating. I want you eating that street food and stuff like that. But they won't do it for their daughter, and they figure the daughter should be able to cook for themselves. And also, a lot of women, like I always say, a lot of women date their sons and raise their men. Right. They do their sons' laundry and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The thing is, what I notice sometimes is that mom will do too much for the son to basically not make him independent. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where basically they raise their daughters to be a lot more independent. Oh, don't put up with this, don't put up with that. But the bottom line is, when it comes to the son, they cater a lot more to the son. Like you said, they're doing laundry, doing things for him. You know what I mean? Like, even like something simple, like is when he gets to age where he's going out and trying to find a job, going out, filling out his application form and stuff like that. Nah, you got to basically let him go out and learn to be independent and do his thing. You know what I mean?
You know what?
Like,
yeah.
Go ahead.
You know what? I think that's a lot. That might happen with single mothers more than.
No,
you know
I'm not.
What you think? Because I'm honestly, because I definitely see where you're going with it, right? And everything. But I'm just wondering, because it's kind of like I see women. It's almost like they catering to the son, maybe because the father isn't there or something like that, and they try to give him a little extra. You know, maybe I'm just trying to understand, like, the you know, the motivation or whatever.
I think the motivation is the different type of fear. I think I think they fear that the girl's going to get pregnant. They think that the boy is going to get killed. And I think those are the differences. So I think what sometimes they will do is have a boy try to do something, make the place where he won't get into trouble. They want the boy to stay home, hang out with his friends or come over or whatever. I think girls are usually given a lot more responsibility. And so the question is, what is the biggest fear that you have for your respective son or daughter?
But that's amazing to me, man, because that's crippling to a young man. Because
very much so.
We have to. It's your place as a young man. Like, you have to go out and be independent. You're a young man. You gotta do that. You gotta go out and figure a way. You gotta bump your head, skin your head up, man, and make mistakes. We learn from our mistakes, but that means we're gonna make a bunch of them. So you can't take them away from them. I tell my boys all the time. I said, listen, I got 3 boys. I don't have no girls. I said, listen, I don't care that you make the mistake. What I care about is that you don't clean up the mess. You know what I mean? So whatever it is that you do, make sure that it's not so bad that you have too much to clean up later. You know what I mean? And if you do whatever you mess up, you got to clean it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In life and whatever. You know what I mean? But I think a lot of mothers probably try to keep the son from making that mistake in the first place. Try to keep the pain from him, maybe. You know what I mean? And just kind of cripple him in some ways.
The problem is, Derek. The problem is that there's certain stages to this. Like, for instance, I get nervous. I used to work with a lot of youth and young adults. I get nervous for boys around 15 to about 18, because now when you're about to start driving, you're starting to go out, you're starting to get hair on your face, you're starting to be independent, and being out in the street, what's out there, and what's out there for young men. So it's a lot tougher with the boys. Yeah. And so I'm saying it's not right, but I think that may have something to do with it. At the same time, years ago, I've seen women send their sons in the street because they needed him to hustle to try to help with the family too, and so that becomes a problem also. It depends. But you were referencing the thing, I think, about Jada Pinkett came out this week, and I think her daughter was saying that she felt that her mother treated her differently than her brother. And if you look at them, you can probably see the results of that. You know what I mean? And so the boy seems very, very spoiled and seems,
I mean, well, they're privileged kids, so they're probably all spoiled. You know what I mean? And I want to touch on something that Derik said, about the single mothers. Like, when I used to work in the schools, I used to talk to a lot of single mothers that had sons, and I noticed that, like, their son could be doing terrible in school, maybe only have like 2 credits, been in the school 4 years. It's just crazy. But the guy is just draped in all this expensive clothes, expensive sneakers, $300-$400 jeans or whatever. And then when the dean and we sit down and talk to him, like, why are you buying him all this stuff? And he's not, because sometimes I think, like he said, when like the mother being a single mother and the father's not around, like, I think she harbors guilt because the father's not around. So she shows her affection by buying him stuff, but not realizing that's destroying them. It's just ruining them. You know what I mean?
Yep. And that's the mess up, because the thing is, parents always say to me in schools, I worked in schools, almost 20 something years. Well, I've been working my job 21 years, so 18 years or so, 20 years or so. And it seems like parents are always trying to give their kids stuff they don't have and stuff, instead of not giving them stuff they didn't never learn. They should start giving them stuff they never learned, like learning like the how to finance stuff, pay bills, be responsible and shit. Correct. And that it goes to fall on a lot of young men. So my next question to you, gentlemen, do you think fathers treat their sons different than their daughters?
First of all, that comment that I just saw flash about the marital status has something to do with it. I think it's right. I think that goes with Derik's point. That being single versus having that balance in the house is different. You know what I mean? You have parents there. It's different. Now, I've always believed that a lot of fathers kind of cater to their girls a lot, and mothers with the boys. So I think there is a opposite effect. But when you have 2 parents there, it may be different than that single parent. That single parent is counting on one of the 2. That single parent may be grooming this girl to be able to cook, and usually they just feel that the girl is more responsible, because we have to realize and take consideration, girls mature faster than boys. And that may have something to do with it. They just do. They mature. They do. Like this one guy said something that was interesting. This a guy I know. He said, I could give, and he'll do it sometimes as a test. He said, I will give my daughter $5 and I will give my son $5. and let them go to the store. He said, my daughter will buy 2 pieces of candy and bring back change. My son will come back from I'm $2 short. Can I have another $2?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so sometimes I think it has something to do with it, the way they mature in their responsibility. You know, but I know you're asking how the parents treat them and how they should treat them, and I agree it is different.
Yeah, I admit myself as far as the way I treat my daughters compared to the way I treat my son, there's definitely a difference because I feel I have to prepare my son for a different place in the world than my daughters. You know what I mean? So I can't tell you how many times my one of my daughters might do something and my son would always say, "Whoa, if I hadn't did that, you would have knocked my head off." You know what I mean? But there's a difference. You have to be more disciplined. You have to be more responsible. You know what I'm saying? You may be head of a household one day. You may be somebody's father. You may be somebody's husband. So I'm grooming you in a different way than I'm grooming my daughters. Not to say that I'm not preparing my daughters for life, too. But the bottom line is, as a man, you have to play a different position, whether it's in a family, whether it's at work, whether it's in your own life, whether you want to teach them to be ambitious. There's a lot of different things I got to prepare my son for. That's just because it's just going to be a little bit different out there for him as a black man. Yeah.
Some of that based in the fear of what you've seen, of
Correct.
what you've done for a living, that you actually see. If a boy runs off the road, the margin of error is not the same exactly. If a boy gets in trouble.
I know also too, there's going to be a difference if my son has an encounter with the police compared if my daughter has an encounter with the police.
Right.
So I have to prepare him for a lot different things. You know what I'm saying? Like I know as a man, don't let your ego kick in with certain things. Don't let your pride kick in with certain things because it could be costly. You know what I'm saying? But I openly admit, and I've had these conversations with my kids, my son, my wife. I definitely treat my sons different than I do my daughters.
Right. Right. Coming from a good place though.
Yeah, it's coming. Like I said, I have to groom him for a different place in life.
Right.
You know.
Right. We gonna lose a sponsor behind that, but it's still gonna be a good place.
Yo, we got a sponsor. We got sponsors.
We lost it in advance.
Oh, we ain't never
gonna.
We ain't getting
those sponsors again.
I'm working, man. I'm working the phones, man. It's just like last minute we're missing a lot of good sponsors to get.
And I think with this guest tonight, we're definitely going to seal that we're never getting a sponsor again.
Yeah, one of our guests had to cancel out, so we got another guest, but this we might not get when that person comes out. Let's pray for other guests. Other guests, her mother is really sick, so she couldn't cancel. We plan on having her probably like next week. But since we got to talk about family stuff, what is like wifey material to you guys?
Well, I'm gonna say this. I gotta just chime in for a second. I have one of my close friends. And she's actually watching tonight. She resents the actual term wifey. She resents it. And I think she feels it is something that is almost relegated to the black community because people don't actually get married. And dudes be like, that's wifey right there. It has not made a commitment, all this stuff like that. So I could just tell in advance without even hearing from her, we've had the discussion. So with that said, I understand.
Listen, black people
put swag on right?
Yeah, we put black people swag on everything. You know what I'm saying? So like,
it's a little trickery to it. I have to say that. I mean, basically,
I get it what you're saying, but like, come on.
Yeah, you're getting the milk and you don't got to buy the cow, so you give her this label to make I totally kind of feel it.
Yeah, but even if you marry, you still call her wifey.
But she is your wife if you married her. I mean, you can't help but call her wifey if you married her. Yeah. But
she's not my wife is not wifey. My wife. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
No, I call my wife my wife too.
Derek done brought our sponsors back. Go ahead.
I don't know, man. I'm just telling you the truth. You know what I mean? I mean, listen, I don't want to disparage anybody's relationship, bro. You know what I'm saying?
The women are ripping us apart. Listen, I love you.
Yeah, I know.
Listen, I love your whole
wife is my wife.
I'm wearing pink again.
D. Direct it to D. That's it. D.
I'm wearing pink again for the Tatas for the last day of Tata month. I'm wearing pink.
So much for that sponsor, Derek. We had it for a second. Okay, so the crux of it is this: the type of woman that you want to settle down with. Yeah. The type of woman that you feel like you like to commit to for the rest of your life.
Marriage material, as white people say, he's husband material. That kind of thing.
I think it's subjective. Go ahead, Rod.
I've heard women use the term wifey. Like I've heard women say that they think they're wifey material. I've heard women say it.
Exactly.
But the thing is, there's nothing wrong with it. The thing is, I've had conversations with women that say, I think I'm wifey material. And the first thing that comes out of my mouth is like, you may upset people, but it's not determined by you. It's determined by the guy. If you're his wifey material. To me, like I always, when I was in a relationship or looked for marriage or whatever, one of the main things that I always looked for was loyalty, because I was going to give you 100% loyalty and I expected the same thing in return. Yeah. And the thing is, I always looked for somebody that I can have a friendship with. You know what I'm saying? Like me and my wife were friends first before we were lovers and in a relationship. Like I actually enjoyed being around her, and that's what sparked it with me, because I'm like, wow, this is cool. And I remember me and my wife's first date, we went to a football game together, and that was like a big turn on for me, because we went to see the Giants beat the Falcons in the playoffs, and they won the Super Bowl that year, and we went to the Super Bowl. So I'm like, wow, this is like a homie that, you know, I can hang out with, and you know, but we were able to kick it. We were like-minded, you know what I'm saying? We liked the same things. We enjoyed each other's company, and just sitting around doing nothing was cool with me. To me, I think that's big. Like you got to be able to be comfortable with each other, spending time, even when you ain't even doing nothing. You know what I mean?
We ain't saying nothing. I could just sit there and watch TV with my wife. We ain't saying nothing for 2 hours. We just sitting there watching it. You know what I mean? Because you gotta understand, this is somebody that's you supposed to, under best circumstances, you're supposed to be with them with the rest of your life. You gotta like them. You gotta like them.
Okay, but wait a minute. You two are married, and you're drawing from some experiences within the marriage. Early on, what did you identify in these women? Because Derik, you don't watch TV with somebody else, and Rodney, you probably have watched sports with somebody else. What made these women the quintessential person that you said, I want to be with forever?
Well, Rodney just told you. Rodney told you, like, you gotta be. Listen, that's gotta be your friend. You know, if you're friends with somebody, if you got something in common with them. Like, you know, when he and his wife went out to go see football, that let him know that she can get with the things that I can get with, the things that I like. You know what I mean?
We have things in common. We have things in common.
So just like when you hanging out with a friend, you know what I mean? You hang with a friend because, you know, you do things that you both like, you know, or both might like. So that's a very important thing. I think that's bare minimum, to be honest with you. You're talking about, you know, being together for the rest of your life, man. Come on. You know?
I don't see how a relationship or a marriage can hold together if you don't have things in common and you don't like each other, enjoy being around each other.
Right.
Now, don't get me wrong. When my wife told me she liked football, I thought she was lying. I thought she was basically
you had to go find out. Yeah.
Correct. I thought she was basically saying, she says, no, I love football. I'm a Giants fan. And I'm like, yeah, right. She's just saying this because she want to hang out with me. You know what I mean? But when we went to the game and she knew what was going on, I was impressed. So that was something.
Okay, let me ask you guys this. All right, so because this is big for me. All right, this is big for me. What was it like the first time you saw her angry at you?
Oh,
because that's a big thing to me. Because I think people need to know how they fight. Because there's sometimes some people can go top end, and you're like, okay, I just can't. I can't handle being rained on.
That's a very important thing when you are married, learning how to fight fair.
Yeah,
right. That's an important thing, man. You know, you can't go from 0 to 100 and offer something nonsense. Like, I can't talk to you. You know what I mean? You upset with me, and we can't even talk because now you already took it somewhere that didn't need to go. You know what I mean? So, like, that's a real important thing. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, man. I think my wife and I, we at a place, man, where we don't take ourselves so seriously. You know what I mean? I know myself. I think I'm a fairly humble dude, you know. So I'm not the type of person that she just can't say anything to. You know what I mean? So she can speak her mind, you know, within reason, of course. You know, me be respectful. You know what I mean? But you know, she got upset, and I didn't agree, and that was it. But you know, every time we do argue, every time we have argued, what happened was, and we made up. It just let me know, okay, we just got a little bit stronger. We just gotta be stronger. We overcame that. You know, she might give me the cold shoulder. It might last 3 days or 4 days, but then we get past it, and it's like, okay. And I'm doing the same thing. I'm uptight too, but then when we get past it, it lets me know, yeah, we just got a little bit stronger. You know what I mean?
Yes. When you see, you have to be able to see each other at your best and at your worst. You know what I mean? So the thing is, like, when I remember when we had our first disagreement, like that, excuse my French, that shit was ugly. You know what I mean? Like, and this was way before we were married. You know what I mean? But what happened, what we were going through is that me and her were like battling for power. You know what I mean? And that's what I kind of did at it. You're battling for power. You're battling for your position. You're trying to be right. You know what I mean? And the thing is, you can't allow your ego to be bigger than this relationship. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, like, when everything calms down, like me and my wife used to talk about things after the battle was over. You know what I mean? And I would learn things about her, and she would learn things about me. So the thing is, you have to learn your mates' do's and don'ts. You know what I mean? But at the same time, you gotta respect each other.
Yeah, you know what I said, Rodney? I often use the phrase, man, you can be right or you can be happy, right?
Correct.
Very few times in your life you get to be both. You know what I mean?
And we're not saying cower down.
Right,
you know
that's not what we're saying.
That's not what we're saying.
No,
we're not
but
saying
learn
that.
how to just let it come
Compromise.
Yeah, there's a compromise.
There's one thing that's very important to me. There's certain lines you can't cross. And I always think guys make that mistake. Like I know I met a couple, and this was hilarious. This woman came up with a terrible idea. Okay, her idea was the dude she was with. She thought that he started developing a drinking problem. So she was like, for whatever reason, she decided to have an intervention with him, with her family, at her brother's wedding. Okay?
Wow.
And it was. And let me just say this was a white couple, and I'm just saying that just for context. And so obviously it was an epic fail. Dude came back like, you think I'm an alcoholic? You think I'm a alcoholic? Well, your brother's a cokehead, okay? And he's going in, right? And this is where you can't go. This is where you can't go. She was like, I only did it because I love you. My man said, I don't love you. I haven't loved you since March. You can't do that. You cannot tell a woman when you start. You can't. My man had it on the counter. You cannot do that. You cannot do that.
No, you can't do that. I'm gonna tell you this. Like, in your marriage, there's certain things that have to stay private. You know what I mean? The thing is, when you start allowing outside family and outside friends to get involved in your marriage is destined for failure. Destined for failure. You don't need outside people talking in your ear about your wife or talking about your husband or whatever. The thing is, whatever issues you have to be able to work them out amongst each other. You don't let people into that circle, because I'm telling you, they're going to contaminate it. Definitely going to contaminate it.
So for me, for what anybody that's wife material got to understand, I fart a lot, so they got to understand sitting on the couch and let me pass gas after I have like a. This is eggnog season.
You laughing, but that's part of the agreement, bro. If you can't fart,
wait a minute. How long do you wait before you can do that? You can't introduce that in the first couple of dates. So when do you introduce that?
I'm gonna say something crazy. I'm gonna say something crazy right now. You know, when your marriage is really signed, sealed, and delivered, when you can shit with the door open and have a conversation with your wife.
I'm telling you right now. My marriage is never going to be signed, sealed, delivered. You know why?
No, I'm telling you.
I don't want to smell mine. I don't even want to smell hers. So I know I want to smell hers because I want to smell mine.
I'm going to tell you, the time to figure that out is really before you even get married, bro.
You should have done it. That's when your relationship signed, sealed, delivered.
You need to go vegan or drink some more water.
She'll be standing there. She might be holding her nose, but she's gonna have that conversation with you. She's still gonna hang in there. That's a keeper. That's a keeper.
Yo, another thing. Here's what trick women do when they go away with you for the first time. They try to be all cute. You know, they always go down to the lobby bathroom to take a dump.
Nah,
a lot of chicks do that shit. Nah, man, a lot of chicks, man. I work with a whole bunch of women. They always do that kind of stuff.
I'm gonna tell you this.
Like, yo, you don't shit. Like, come on, you're not human.
No, this is when you go away with a chick, right, for the first time, right? Mm-hmm. This is how I always used to tell guys how you know that the chick is really digging you, because she's severely overpacked and she's got all these new outfits trying to look good for you. That's when you know.
And we only got 24 hours. How you gonna, you got 30 outfits,
Exactly.
24 hours.
There's gonna be like 9 outfits they're gonna take back that they never wore.
Right.
Yeah. And they want you to pick out the outfits so they're gonna wear that night. You know,
I did something very, very romantic. I took a woman to several islands in one day. Yes.
You're a nice guy.
We did Long Island, Staten Island, Coney Island, and Manhattan Island. So I just want you to know, for the fellas out there, you got to make it work. You know.
Wow, you're a big baller, Kelvin.
Yeah, you know what it is. That's my brother is. You know
Yeah, I can see you, baby.
Real quick, hey, gentlemen, we had some hot topics this week, and one of the hot topics, man, we seen like we had the riots. Oh yeah, we had the George Floyd, we had Breonna Taylor, and we just had this young brother just got killed by the police in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania this weekend. And Rod, I'm gonna ask you this first time. What are your thoughts on that shooting and how do you feel? Because you are former. If people that just tuned in for the first time, Rodney's former sergeant for NYPD in New York City, and you have a world of experience in these kind of events and stuff like that. What's your thoughts on that?
I'm going to tell you that Walter Wallace shooting was not in comparison like Eric Gardner, George Floyd, Jacob Blake.
Mm-hmm.
This is a different circumstances. I don't know if people notice it. It's not being covered in the media as much, and the reason why is because of the circumstances. If you watch that video, it's very unfortunate what happened to Mr. Wallace. The police at some point they were retreating. Mr. Wallace did have a knife, and I think he had a history of some sort of mental illnesses as well. The thing is, a knife is considered a deadly weapon, and the way the police are trained, they are allowed to use deadly physical force when they're being faced with deadly physical force. So the only thing that I kind of noticed, and like I said, try to understand, because it's difficult being in that situation because you got to make a decision in like seconds. The only thing I noticed was excessive is he was shot too many times. But the thing is, to shoot him under the eyes of the police department, that's justification. His family was there. They couldn't calm him down, whatever. Like I said, I don't see Jacob Blake's situation, Eric Gardner's situation, and George Floyd's situation as the same, because I think that those guys were killed. They were murdered. Well, Mr. Blake didn't die, but he was shot 9 times. It was excessive.
Rodney, let me ask you a question. Is it fair? Because I think what we do as civilians a lot of times, and this is obviously what I always find in my mind saying, is it always necessary to use deadly force? And I know we always like, you could have shot the person in the leg, something like that. When you're in the moment, though, is that really unrealistic to ask someone to in those type of situations to just take that moment to say, I'm going to just decide to use, hold back, restraint, have restraint from deadly force, something like that in the moment? Does the moment change it with all the training and everything? Is that unfair for us to ask that question?
The thing is, the police department does not train officers to shoot people in the leg. They do not train them to shoot them in the arm. They do not train them to shoot. They train them to shoot center mass, because basically, go ahead.
No, because people don't understand. People that like me and Rob, we like to go shooting. We average shooters. It's so hard to shoot someone in your arm or leg because those things move.
Because correct, they move, and if you miss, you can hit an innocent bystander. Now we got another problem. So the thing is, they train officers to shoot center mass because all your vital organs is in your chest. So the bottom line is, if I shoot you center mass, most likely I'm going to stop the threat. You know what I mean? Because everything is in the center of your body. That's vital. You know what I mean? That's a big misconception that people think. They think that officers are like marksmen, and that's not true. That's not true at all.
You hear
I think in NYPD, I think when I was on the job, we went to the range twice a year to practice shooting. Twice a year.
You're right, because
that's not enough.
Yeah, I go to the shooting range more than most cops, and then when you go there, and you're comparing it, shooting like, damn, bro,
you probably shoot better than most cops.
I do.
Yeah.
But it's sad. Let me ask you another question, Rod. So, where was? I mean, you're not Philadelphia police. Where were the tasers? Do you know if Philadelphia Police Department has tasers or anything like that? Or?
I'm under the impression that Philadelphia police officers do not carry tasers. I don't think they were issued tasers. They should be. You know what I'm saying? Because that's non-lethal. You know what I mean? When you're not equipped with a taser, you have to go from basically 0 to 100 by using your gun right away. That's your next step. There's no non-lethal thing unless they have mace or something. But the thing is, you can't meet mace with a deadly weapon. You know what I mean? It's you taking a chance, because by the time that mace kicks in, that person could have covered a lot of ground and gotten closer to you to stab you.
Gotcha. So that's what it's good that people get educated and understand how it's gonna go. And people don't understand justified what the police department says a shooting. I think, and I don't think any of these things gonna happen to these officers when that shooting.
I kind of feel that it's going to go as a justified shooting. I really do, because what they're going to do is, like I said, you watched the video, like the cops were running. They would at some point they were retreating until they got to the middle of the street, and he still came towards them, and then they fired. Like I said, I thought too many shots were probably fired, but I don't think those officers are going to get in trouble. I really don't. I don't think they're the same thing.
And like Kelvin said, it's hard being black because you call the 911 and this can happen. The mother called 911, what happened? She lost her son.
Now she has to live with that. Yeah, she has to live with that for the rest of her life.
Well, let me ask you this question. Rodney, have you ever seen a situation where, and I know it's tough because you are law enforcement, even retired. I know I would assume if you are, you once a cop, always a cop, I would assume.
No, I don't think that. I don't think that way.
Okay.
I mean,
all right. So with that said, being more of a civilian now, have you ever looked at a situation and said, in your mind, I wouldn't ask you to identify the situation, but have you ever looked at one of these situations, that one of these national shootings, unarmed, have you ever said, if that guy was white, he would be alive today?
Absolutely. I've said that. Me and D have said this hundreds of times. I mean, it's all over social media. You can see where this. I seen a video on social media where the guy beat up two cops, a male and a female, took their baton, beat them with it, and then stole the RMP, and nobody fired one shot, where they were justified in shooting, and he didn't shoot. The thing is this: the cops do react differently in the black community than they do the white. That's a fact. I'm never going to deny that.
Right. Wow. And the sad thing, the mother did call for the ambulance and said her son had mental illness, but I don't know if they have a team on the police department in Philadelphia for under mental illness. I don't even know if they have it in any other state. I know they do in Europe. They have a whole mental illness unit to come out and make sure that and assess the situation and stuff like that.
In New York City, basically, depending on the circumstances, in that circumstances, there's no time. This is a guy with a knife, and he's out of control. His family can't control him or whatever. If he was barricaded or he was in a house and refusing to come out, that's a different circumstances, because then they could call ESU and they would basically go in there, subdue him, and then bring him on out. They have things like that. They got like the shield. They had like water cannons back in the days where they could hit them with water. They had things where basically they could basically bum rush you with the shield and just pin you up against the wall and get you on the ground and then cuff you up or whatever. But in that situation, there's no time for that. There's no time for that.
Gotcha. So my next thing is Lil Wayne.
Oh my God.
Now when I say raccoon, R-A-T coon. I want people to understand that before people like because our Facebook block. I was in Facebook jail, me, for 7 days for calling somebody a raccoon. So now I just call it a raccoon. So they can't block me for that. There's no such animal. So little Wayne, Little Wayne recently this week went up to hang out with his devil god Donald Trump and take a picture and talk about his taxes. And the funny thing with Little Wayne is, when Baby was ripping him off, he was quiet as a church mouse. So what do you guys think about these celebrities and going up with Donald Trump this last week? We had 50 Cent going up there and all that kind of stuff like that. What do you think?
50 Cent went up to see Donald Trump?
Well, he said about his sorry, I'll take that back. About his taxes, he voted for Trump for his taxes. Now he took back his statement. Now he's saying like fuck Donald Trump and all this stuff. I guess he was feeling that nobody's gonna start watching Power and all the other stuff. He feel like it's gonna start losing.
Okay. 50 figured that out quick.
Yeah,
man.
very
I don't
quick.
think no Trump supporters are watching Power.
Yeah, very
and
quick.
he ain't making no real money, no music no more.
Yeah.
So he got to figure something out.
Let me tell you something. When people retract things, I always say they do it for two reasons. They do it because, number one, you really meant it. You thought about it. You say, maybe I was wrong about saying that. Or the other reason is your money's going to be affected. Mm-hmm. So maybe he realized maybe his money was going to be affected as a result. Actually,
he realized that.
there's an interview with his ex-girlfriend. What's the girl's name? The white girl that he was just seeing.
Oh yeah, I forgot the white girl.
Her name Kelsey or something like that.
Yeah, Kelsey Handler.
Kelsey Handler. Yeah. There's an interview that said she reached out to him and spoke to him about that situation and told him that.
She told him that he's wrong and all this other stuff.
I think these are two situations are different for this reason, in my estimation. 50 Cent has become a caricature. That's all he does is things like this. So I don't think anybody really takes him serious anymore either way. As far as Lil Wayne is concerned, I feel bad for any of the young people that really kind of look up to. I look at rappers like I look at professional wrestlers. To me, it's all entertainment. And I do. I think, this one gonna hurt this one, or that, have a beef with that one, and then you go behind the curtain and everybody's good. It's about the money that they make. Nothing about Lil Wayne suggests to me that I would govern my life by anything that he says. As far as him with this Trump thing, I'm amazed that Trump still has this magnetic pull, and he only pulls one direction. He pulls from entertainers. That's it. Black entertainers. That's it. Anybody, for sheerly the optics, whether it's the platinum plan, all that stuff seems to come at a certain time. It comes conveniently and things like that. I just get the impression from a larger scale, I don't feel a lot of these guys feel a responsibility to their community. I think you can get in such a place. I think you get in such a place where you now just feel like I'll say whatever, it doesn't matter. You don't affect my bottom line. From what I believe, Lil Wayne is not really, putting out music like he did in the past. I think he had his run. And I think after a certain stage and age, they recognize they got their money in other businesses and things like that. So I don't think it was a good look. I now am no longer surprised. I don't care. I'm like you probably can't come up with one. If I see Chuck D take a picture with Donald Trump, then that's it. Then
it's over.
Right. Other than that, I'm not really surprised by people, because I think the corporate dollar, I think it impairs your judgment, and I think that's what a lot of them buy into.
And Lil Wayne, we talking about a person that has seizures from drinking lean.
Yeah. Lean. Let me ask you a question. At this stage now, what would you say Lil Wayne's fan base is mostly made of? Would you say it's mostly made of like white teenagers or black community?
That's a good question.
So now you got to think about that. I think, didn't Lil Wayne make a rock album one time or something like that?
You're right. Okay. And he calls himself a rock star. Yeah,
correct. Right. So I'm gonna say, like, I know somebody that went to a Lil Wayne concert before, and they said basically it was packed with teenage white kids.
That's all it is. Because
he can say that. He can say that. That's his fan base.
Yeah, that's his fan base. He wear the skateboard clothes and all that shit.
Yeah.
So, but let me ask you now. This, I don't know if you saw this. And Kelvin, hold the seat. Clutch of pearls and all that stuff like that. A pastor pisses on a woman.
Oh my God!
On an airplane, a black woman on an airplane. I guess he think he had holy water coming out his genitalia. So. I don't know about y'all, but the black woman I know, he lucky to be alive right
now. You know what? I'll have to say this. Whenever I hear something, like this, especially if it involves ministers or ministry, the mistake I used to make when I was younger was I felt like I was trying to defend the vocation, and I realized you can't do that. It really is a bad optic of anybody urinating on somebody. I was kind of raised by my father used to tell me, don't spit on me and don't slap me, else we got to go to war over that. This is another level. I don't know if it was done intentionally. I'm not sure exactly, how or why this happened, but I do agree with you, D. That's something that I think somebody would just fall short or maybe take your life for if you urinated them on them intentionally. As far as the person being a pastor is concerned, I learned an expression years ago: people are people wherever you go. And there are certain things that are common to all people. I chalk certain things up to just people are human and people are not infallible. They'll be flawed. But this is a very, very bad look, and especially for the position that he holds. Is the woman alleging that this was done intentionally? Does anybody know that? Because I wasn't too familiar with it.
He's saying that he was. Yeah, he's saying he was on Ambien or some kind of drug, and I guess he might have thought he was going to the bathroom, but.
So, D, do you think this was some type of sick fetish? Is that what it is? Because I want.
That's what I was going to say. I think it may be some sort of sick fetish that he basically got caught on. I don't know. Maybe got people that's in the golden showers. I don't know what he was thinking about.
And that's going to be on next week's show.
What?
I'm trying. I listen. I know a lot of weird people, but speaking of some wild stuff, listen, man. This is a funny story because you made me think of this, right? Me and Rod got this homeboy because we talk about fetishes and wild stuff like that. We got this homeboy, right? And he wanted to get his he was in DC on this. It was a bikers weekend or something, right? What was it?
Yo, don't pull me into this. Don't pull me into this. Because I think I know what story you're getting ready to tell.
Oh, my God.
Y'all got stories, man. Y'all got stories.
No,
long time ago, me and D used to hang out tight.
Long time ago. This way back.
You put 3 longs on that.
Yeah.
Wow.
You good.
I know about the story. I was there, but I wasn't born. So this was a long time ago. So my man, he always wanted, like, he can't, he tried, we all getting up in age and stuff like that. So he went, this is pre-Viagra. This is like right after Spanish Fly. Remember, you guys remember Spanish Fly? And this is better than that ginseng stuff, right? So it's this stuff called stud. I don't know if you guys know what stud is. So stud is this spray you put on your penis just if you're about to go get some sexual action. So my homeboy, right? Well, he's not Rod's friend. He's just my friend.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He's just my friend for this story. He's just my friend for this story, right? He sprays this on his genitalia, and he didn't know this girl was ready to get some action with him real quick. So with stud, you're supposed to let it chill out and take its effect, and then you're supposed to just put a condom on and have your sexual act.
No, you're supposed to wash it off.
Yeah, yes, that's right. I'm sorry, I left it. See, it's a long time ago, so I can't remember.
But I still don't know what you're talking about.
This before I knew Rod, but somehow he was there, and before I wasn't born yet. So this is a long time ago, right? He doesn't wash the stud off his penis, right?
I think he didn't have time.
He didn't have time because the girl was ready. She was ready. Yeah. So she wanted to work him up. So she started with fellatio. The girl in the middle of fellatio, the stud gets in her mouth, and her mouth gets numb. So now she thought, when you have on your penis? when you have on your penis?
She said it tastes disgusting.
It tastes disgusting. What's on your penis?
Rod got really investigative minds and not have known about this. Rod.
Now I don't know what he's talking about.
This is before I met Rod, but he was there. But this is before I met Rod. This is way before I met Rod. But speaking of, this is a true story. But Rod was there, and I don't remember it, but somehow I remember it. That's another thing.
And it definitely was. I don't want people to think it was me because it wasn't me.
But we're trying to still get sponsors. So any sponsors like Cialis,
it's a wrap, man. It's a wrap.
Wow, back when y'all when you started it.
But these are all true stories. So listen, with that said, we got our first guest tonight. This guy's a character, and I know we probably won't ever get a sponsor after this guy comes on.
It's going to be a wrap, yeah.
A wild card. He's going to talk about like this dating scene, this internet dating, how the algorithms on Instagram, how he gets women and stuff like that. And Sam, just bring him in, man.
Wait. This guy has no filter and no boundaries.
No filter. And whatever comes out of his mouth, this is not from any of us. Let's wrap it up.
Listen, let me clarify one thing. I figured out the algorithm for Instagram, not for dating, or how to get the reaction from women that want to date. Because I don't go out on dates.
You don't go out on dates. But do you do stud? Do you use stud?
No. I don't even. No. I'm not. Listen, and all right, I'm not the stud guy they're referring to. And God knows a lot about that story for a guy that wasn't there.
Oh man! Whoa.
So, Mr. Chicken Wing, you're a stand-up comic. You work with young people. You're You know, people get a little background. You was incarcerated back in the day, long time ago.
That was a long time ago. Well,
long time ago.
I'm one of the well-known unknown comedians. Like all the comedians know me, just the public don't. That's the problem.
That's good.
Right. All your favorite comedians, they know me.
Like MC Hammer, everybody knows MC Hammer, but nobody knows the background dancers.
Right.
You know the background dancers.
You know.
Yo, wait a minute. I'm gonna stop it. I just saw in the comments that people think it's me. It's not me. It's not me with the stud. It's not me. See,
so let me get
what I mean.
Let me get this straight. So D is not old and you not the stud man.
No, I'm not. I'm really not. It's not me.
Put that out right now, man. Wow.
D, save me. It's not.
No. Ron is not the stud man, but he knows the stud man, but he doesn't know the stud man. But he's really word to my son. He's not the stud man.
And I'm not the stud
man. And Chicken Wing's not the stud man.
Yeah,
but he's studdish. He's studdish.
I do D for years. I don't D for years.
So Wing, tell the people, like, you know, you just saying about the algorithm, how women start following you and stuff like that, and
right.
What is that? What do you do?
Well, what I've come to realize, right, from posts and things like that, and getting the reaction, I kind of figured out what the women like to see, right? Just like men like to see certain things, you know, women, they call it thirst traps, right? Mm-hmm. There's also thirst traps for women.
Okay.
Right? They want to see girls shake their asses. They want to see titties. Women want to see not the money phone. That's too obvious. That's too corny. You know, they don't want to see that. They want to see consistency of a good time, a kind of level lifestyle. Women look for consistency. They don't want to have a good time for just 1-2 nights. They want to know, can this guy provide a good time all the time, right? So what I find in being consistent in my posts, because I like to have a good time, it gets, you know, what's the word I'm looking for, D? Not it gets.
I ain't part of none of this.
Not gonna want to DM.
If you jumping in now, man, you gotta jump in now.
Listen, I did stuff a long time ago. I have no idea what
these things get unsolicited DMs. It gets unsolicited DMs from women, right? And from the DMs, I realized that this is women shooting their shot. Because women shoot their shot a different way. Now, as you can see, I'm sure everybody's, I'm not the most handsome gentleman. I'm a little overweight and got a little hand. But
well, that ain't gonna stop you.
And I realized, it's from these posts. So in the beginning stages of me being on Instagram, I would test this theory and put up different posts and then see if this reaction is going to be like I anticipated. And sure enough, there's these DMs that come. So every now and then, after getting, you know, a certain amount of new followers, I'll put the post again on a Throwback Thursday. And sure enough, you get these new people that didn't see it before. Hey, how you doing? You like good? And it's kind of comical to me, really. Mm-hmm. But I just do it as entertainment. As my page is the Chicken Wing Show, it truly is a show.
Let me ask you something, Chicken Wing. So these DMs come in from women that are not your followers. They're totally strange women.
No, they're followers, but they're strangers. Women I don't know, because people follow me from all over. They're strange. I don't know. But let me give an example. I told a friend of mine, I won't say no names, but his initials are DP, right?
Man, that daggone Darren Parker's or something.
Look, and if you follow my page, you'll kind of know what's going on. I'm not going to give no more hints on who it is and that. I had told him, like, yo, I figured out this Instagram thing. And he was like, man, ain't no figuring this out. It's nah. You don't know what you're talking about, right? So time was going on. I kept telling him, yo, I figured this thing out. So he said, nah, man, you bugging, nah. Women are different nowadays. So it just so happened that he had did some things to raise his credit score, and he was showing me, you know, to kind of inspire me, and we proud of each other, things like that. So I used that as an example to show him that this algorithm I figured out is true. I said, give me permission to post that picture of your credit score and tag you. He said, no problem. So I posted it with a picture next to mine. I made up a fictitious story that we are having a credit score contest. And whoever has the highest credit score by December 31st, the loser has to buy the winner dinner. I told him when I post this picture, women are gonna jump in your DM. I posted the picture. About 10 minutes later, he called me. Yo, man, this girl jumped in my DM. She's nice. And I said, you can't post obvious big baller bragging shit. They onto that. It gotta be a curve. You gotta trick them. You see what I'm saying?
So this is a trap. This is a trap, you know.
Man, you diabolical, bro. That's diabolical, man.
Listen, we can't go on Instagram and shake our penis in front of the camera to attract girls.
Whoa.
Something else to be used a thirst trap.
No sponsor. We get no sponsor.
Watch the credit.
Yeah, this guy's gonna blow it up for us. It's over.
But I gave me 3 of them. Y'all said I get 3 of them.
Okay, that's one right there, Vic. That's one.
So we didn't know. So no, but there's so many other things, right? Like there's certain pictures I know if I post a picture of me on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, right? That garners a lot of attention, right? The number one question is they want to know how much I won. I never say how much I won, but leave that out there. It's like a cliffhanger on Dallas, on the show Dallas or something like that, or cliffhanger on Power. So I always put the video up of me on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I got a picture of me in the Louis store with arms full of Louis Vuitton items. I put pictures of me jet skiing, pictures of me in a hot air balloon, all these kind of pictures, right? Garner DMs, right? And like I said, it's for entertainment purposes. But you can't say, yo, like people say, you front for the gram. I'm not front for the gram.
That's two.
I'm not front for the gram. I really been on a hot air balloon. I really been jet skiing. I really do all these things. So it's not front for the gram. I'm just putting it on the gram, right? Some people post the Brooklyn Chop House. They post their plate so people know they've been at the Brooklyn Chop House. That's why Brooklyn Chop House has the name on the plate. They figured out we put our name on the plate. People take pictures of our food. They know it's Brooklyn Chop House. And now everybody flocks to Brooklyn Chop House. One thing about black people, especially black women, they are like sheep, right? Now listen, if y'all say all chicken when you lie, I'm gonna give you the latest example.
Listen, ho. When you say sheep, black women, this is
my content.
The views expressed here on Let's Pop It Up are not.
I am wearing pink because I love black.
I give y'all the view. Y'all all should nod your head in agreement. My proof, right? My latest example: black women are like sheep. Like the same thing, you put Brooklyn Chop House on the plate. They take a picture of the plate, Brooklyn Chop House. All of a sudden, all the women want you to take them to Brooklyn Chop House. The latest example is Tulum, Mexico. All these girls want to go to Tulum right now. Before the pandemic, these women never heard of Tulum, but now they flocking there in droves. You see what I'm saying? You think this is an original thought? They saw this and they're like, Tulum, I gotta go to Tulum. They all want to go in that. So listen, so that's the power of the internet. The same way these women flock to Tulum, because every other woman, it's the same type of thing. You put it in their face, they will come. You set the trap, they will.
Wow. So basically, this is like the dangling of the carrot theory.
The dangling of the carrot.
So you're going to
have you ever heard of so many women going to Tulum or even the word Tulum before the pandemic?
No. I haven't been there. I haven't been there myself. I haven't been there.
I've never been, but I know what you mean, though.
Yeah.
So basically, when you make these posts, right, women see it and they just want to be part of your action, and that's why they DM you.
Right, they DM it just to see what's up, right? Like,
okay.
Like, listen. First of all, I tell them I do have a girlfriend, right? Like I said, I have a girlfriend. Now, my girlfriend has had conversations with me. Why don't put me on your page?
Oh, Kelvin's praying for you, bro.
Listen, she said, no, listen, I'm gonna tell you conversations me and my girlfriend have had about my page. She says, why don't put me on your page? I said, my page is for pure entertainment. It's called the Chicken Wing Show. That's the name of my page. You don't see Steve Harvey's wife on the Steve Harvey Show. You don't see Jimmy Kimmel's wife on the Jimmy Kimmel Show because it's for entertainment. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So they come to my page to see me. They don't come to my page to see us. So I explain that to her. They come in for entertainment. There's characters on my show. D is a character on my show, on my page. My friend Jerry is the character on my page.
Okay.
So, these are people I interact with. Funny things. So that's
Hold on, Vic. I want the viewers to read the banner that just went across the bottom. The views expressed by Chicken Wing
Please pay
are
attention
not
to the banner.
supported by us. Okay.
So I got another question for Chicken Wing. What women that jump in are married boyfriends? What's thoughts on that? What are their situation?
Here's what I realized, right? The best, and this advice I give people, right? Because I give people advice on dating, right? Because I have a pretty successful relationship with my girlfriend, right? When I met my girlfriend, she was in a relationship. Let me say that. So this is where my experience come from, right?
Did you got your girlfriend trickery?
Right? No, she had
No, there's somebody asking. They asking, did you get your girlfriend through trickery?
No, you let her tell it. That's what she says now. I tricked her. Yes.
Okay.
Did you post your credit score?
No, not the credit score. No.
Oh.
My friend got a girl off credit score. But
that's not trickery if it's true. Right.
Not trickery if it's true. Right. I'm not fronting on my page, bro, because it's true. I really been in the submarine. I really been in a hot air balloon. I really done.
No, I know that. I know that. I know you've been to these places.
It's just dangling the carrot. It's not trickery. You see what I'm saying?
So my question with the married, though, what you was about to say about that?
Oh, yeah, let me say about the married thing, right? My advice to a lot of guys, right? If you're not looking to get married, you just want to have a good date women that have a boyfriend or are married. I know that sounds crazy, especially to the married men, right? But there was a time where I only dated women that only had a boyfriend or a husband. If a woman wanted me out her face, tell me you single. If you got a boyfriend or a husband, you my kind of woman. Let me tell you why. And let me tell you the line you get them with, right? Especially if they have a boyfriend. What I'm going to give you is a good jewel. If a woman tells you I have a boyfriend, you say, perfect. She's going to say, what you mean? You say, like, listen, I'm just trying to holler, be your friend. Oh, I told you I got a boyfriend. The next line you say is, you don't strike me as a first come, first serve type of woman. And then they say, what do you mean by that? I mean, like, listen, say you meet a man that's the man of your dreams, truly. Not saying me, not saying I'm the man of your dreams, but say you meet a man that's truly everything you wanted in a man. Do you run him off because you met this other nigga first?
That's three.
That's three. The nigga word.
Go for the bonus. When you go for the bonus.
No, but listen, this is good. You tell women that, right? Do you run him off? Do you run the man that's truly the man of your dreams? He's not front. He's not using trickery. He's truly everything you wanted in a man. Do you run him off because you met this other guy 4 months ago? Because you met him first? Are you a first come, first serve type of woman? Now, when they go home and get in the house and see this man there playing a PS5, they're going to be like, I'm only with you because you met me first. They're going to seek some more entertainment. They want to seek what's better. And you tell them, listen, I know you want what's best for you, right? You don't seem like the type of woman that's going to settle. If there's something better, I'm sure you're going to seek it. A married woman is different. For the married woman, she say, how long y'all been together? She says 5, 6, 7 years. How long you been together? Like, listen, you need some spontaneity in your life. And they say, what do you mean by that? When y'all are having sex, you know exactly what he's going to do. You know how long he's going to last. He's going to lift my leg up. He's going to do this. 1, 2, 3, and he's finished. Right? When you get with a new guy, you don't know what he's doing. Wait, what are you doing? Wait, oh, I like that. Oh, that's different. So when you tell her, because women know this man does the same thing he's been doing every night, every other night, or 3 times a week for the same 6, 7, 8, 9 years. Right?
They call that strange. That's what they call that.
Oh my God.
Okay,
no. Do you realize that?
I'm not saying listen, I'm not saying this works on all married women, but the married women that didn't think about, he's right. They know when their husband gonna turn him over. They know when he's finished. They know how long he's gonna last. He's been lasting that long for 5 years.
Okay, chicken wing.
Not if you use a stud. Not if you use a stud.
All right, chicken wing. Let me say this. This is what I'm going to try to do. Chicken wing. I'm going to try to salvage the 2 or 3 women still watching us. Okay.
Sponsors, bro. I need the sponsors.
All right. So let me just say this really quickly, and I'm going to tell you how it relates to you. I'm in class one day in St. John's University, right? We have to do this presentation before a group of people. This one dude comes in, he says, I want to tell everybody how to rob someone's house. The professor said, absolutely no way. There's no way I'm going to let you get up and stand in front of people and tell them how to rob someone's house. I go to him, I say, you know what you do? You tell them how to prevent your house from getting robbed. And she said, I'll allow that. Chicken wing, what I want you to do is tell the women out there how they can avoid men that are trying to use trickery
I like
to get them online. I want you to tell
Okay.
women what they should look out for in that case.
Here's what you got to do. Men know there's certain signs men look for, right? Mm-hmm. They know, right? And D knows this from a long time ago.
Whoa.
A long time ago.
Not me.
Most women you meet, right? When you meet a woman, hey, how you doing? You get a number. Well, I'm talking about within the first week or so. If she asks you for any type of money, right? That's a sign that you could treat her the way I'm talking about. Any type of money. And mostly it's $40. The going rate now is $40. That's the ask. That's what women ask for most than anything. Listen, if she asks for, can you do the king? That's a given sign. So women, if you want to prevent a man from thinking that you're a certain type of woman, don't jump into asking him for money. For anything. Oh, can you send me $4? Oh, can you? Because I want to get, can you do it? Don't do that. That's a dead giveaway. That's a dead giveaway for a guy to rub his hands together like Baby from Cash Money. Oh, okay, I know what she's about. So it's hard for me to do it with a little hand, but you know.
So listen. We have to counteract this guy here. So I got a sister that's about to come up. She don't give a damn what he's talking about, and she's about living her best life. Out here dating. And if anybody watched Insecure, they had a segment when one of the ladies on Insecure was saying like she's on a rotation. Like, so I'm not saying she's on a rotation, but I get it because she's reversing it. Us dudes do we want to do.
Rotation, D?
Rotation is basically rotating dudes like how we used to. Well, when I used to long time ago rotate women out here like you do back in the day.
Rotation to me, I thought you talking about a plantation full of hoes.
No.
God. Oh my God.
Our sponsors are now coming back for like a month or so. So
Rodney,
we might get banned from Facebook and what you call it?
The tape is running again.
Rotation, like rotation, but rotation.
Rotation. So let me bring her in. Can we bring my sister in, Anitra, right now? She's gonna set you straight in, and she's gonna give people her insight on out here dating these men out here. What's up, sister? How you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good.
Hey,
girl, interesting for sure.
What's up, girl? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
You got a boyfriend?
No.
Wing. Let me do the show. So,
yo, mute his picture. Mute
him for a second. So, Anitra,
his picture too.
So, Anitra, listen, I'm gonna explain to people who you are. Like you got your own money. You got your own house. You're educated one of the best schools in the country.
The best. It's not one of the best.
The best. You went to one of the best the best college out here. She getting her own paper. She out here and like right now you living your best life. Like so, some people don't understand, especially in our culture, how like women like it's not you're not living that double standard. Like I'm going to get mine, do my thing. So what do you feel when people say like, girl, why are you doing this and all this other stuff, blah blah blah.
So the first thing I tell, and this is my mantra right now, mind the business that pays you. So worry about yourself and do what makes you happy, and I'm going to do what makes me happy. But also, at the end of the day, it's your life, and you have to get up and live it every day. So I really am not into other people, which is probably why other people's perception of me, which is probably why I'm the way I am. So as in like, hey, I can date more than one person at a time and tell them all about each other and realize, hey, I'm really not looking for a relationship. And I'm finding a lot of guys don't believe that when I say that. But I told you specifically
what's their reaction?
Usually they're like, oh, okay. I had one guy recently. I told him first conversation, like, hey, I'm just out to meet people or whatever. I'm not looking for a relationship. And his response was, well, if you find a guy that's consistent and he does a lot of what you're looking for, then could you be in a relationship with him? I said, not necessarily, because I know too many people who are in relationships with people because they were there. And I'm not trying to be with somebody just because he was there and took up time. Like, hey, we had a great time, but I'm not. And it's like, a lot of times people are like, do you know what you're looking for? I know what I don't want, but my philosophy to dating is I'm going to date people until somebody comes along that makes me think maybe I can give up these other people. And I'll know that when that time comes. But until then, best of luck.
Have you been in a committed relationship before?
How
long did it last?
What'd you say?
How long did it
over
last?
a year.
Over a year. Okay.
And also, like, I also think too, every relationship and every individual is different. So, like, I even saw, I have to pull it up on my phone, but something to the effect of like dating and marriage on somebody I'm friends with on Facebook, and I was like, the statement is flawed, and it was, hey, I don't see any point in dating someone if you don't see yourself marrying each other in the future. How do you even know that? Like, that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
You dating somebody, you should be trying to get to know them a little bit. That's the whole point of the dating.
That's the whole point. But there's no.
So you don't know that until you find that out.
You don't
and if
go
y'all
into
jumping
dating
off every now and then, that's fine. That's part of it. You know what I mean?
No, but I think that has to be into context. I think I understand what the person is saying. In other words, there's some people that feel like if there's certain things that I don't like, it's no sense of me going into it if I don't want to arrive at a certain place. And I know you're saying, well, hey, give the person opportunity. There's some women I know that will not date men that are shorter than them. Now, you may say that's superficial or whatever. Right. So if you see a dude and he's 4'9", you automatically know I'm not going out with him because I don't do the 4'9" thing. I'm not gonna be carrying him living on a curb or something like that.
But I feel like I understand that. But I feel like
who did you go to?
But there's levels to that. So dating and a relationship are two separate things. Personally, I probably won't enter into a relationship, especially at this age, if I don't see like a real long-term future with you, because I can get what I need to get without being in a relationship with you.
What do you need?
What did you need to get?
Hey, fellas are easy. Listen, we know what we're talking about. Fellas are easy.
At the end of the day,
easy when it comes to
for what I'm looking for from you at this point in time, you have to be in a relationship, I'm gonna be honest, I can't tell you 100% of what that is beyond the standards and my standard, right? But after beyond the standards, I don't know. Like, at the end of the day, that's why I said, like, until I meet that person, there'll be something that'll tell me, and I'm very, I feel like I've talked to God enough. I would know, like, oh, this person is different beyond the superficial. But at the end of the day, dating is for collecting data. Dating is to say, I'm trying to decide, okay, well, how you move, different experiences and such. A relationship says, I'm giving intentional one monogamous, exclusive energy to building with this person. And if I don't, other than us having sex, taking trips and doing all this other, okay, can I cuss? Because I was
you can curse. You can curse.
Okay. And doing all
you can have it. You
took it for the team. Thank you. If all this other shit that we're doing, at the end of the day, there has to be something else beyond, what I've been doing for myself. Like, there has to be, and as I tell people, there has to be a value you bring to my life that I feel like, oh my gosh, if you're no longer here, I don't think I would want to live in a world without you. And I think that applies
to that point if there's a rotation going on.
Over time, you'll figure that out. I don't think because you'll figure that out, because there are plenty of people that I have had, and we've all had friends with people that were super dope and cool, but at some point, regardless of however it happened, y'all grow apart and things change, right? And you gave energy to try to be friends with that person, but life just changes that trajectory.
Do you think y'all grow apart, or because you're interested in having a rotation that you're pushing?
Correct.
You're pushing them apart.
The rotation may be chasing them away from a relationship.
Them to drift away. Because listen, if me and you meet, right, and we go on a date, and you since you always say vacation, and I take you and we go to Aruba or we go to Tulum, it's not. We go to Tulum, right? When we get back from Tulum, I be like, man, Anitra was a nice woman. We had a good time. I like her, right? Things happen at work. I got to get my life back on track. I'll call you 3-4 days later. You're interested in the next trip, the next rotation. So now I can't get the attention I need from you because you're leading in the next one in the rotation. So I didn't drift off to someone else, and that's you pushing me away.
But it's not about you. I'm not gonna own that. If that's something you feel about me, you need to tell me. And because I led with telling you I was not looking to be in a relationship, you need to know that you're risking a chance to know, hey, you know what? Either I'm gonna tell her how I'm feeling, and I have to recognize she might want to do the same with me. or she may not want to. And at the end of the day, you have to make the decision that's best for you. So I'm not going to take on, because there's other people competing for my attention. There's ways to block the team. If
no,
you really
when I call to tell you that, listen, Anitra, when I call to tell you those feelings of mine, you want to beat your Turks and Caicos, and you don't answer.
That's it. No, see, that's some fuck girl shit. I don't do that. So I don't want to be like that.
So you're gonna be on vacation with another guy, pick up another phone call from another guy? Why you on vacation with somebody?
Let's be clear. We're talking about a phone call. We're not talking about phone calls consistently throughout the vacation. Let's be clear. And
so if you're on a vacation with one of your friends, somebody that's in the rotation, and another guy,
because he ain't the friend, but yes,
and another guy calls you who's in the rotation, you're gonna answer the phone while you're with the guy and
talk about have a conversation.
Correct. Yeah.
First of all, picking up the phone, I don't know that he's about to talk about his feelings. If this is somebody else, if that's somebody I'm talking to, and the other guy knows he's not the only player on the team. Now, what I'm saying, just be clear, I'm not monopolizing my vacation or my trip with the other person. And also, if I pick up and I see the direction of this conversation that is going, I'm grown enough and I own myself enough to step away from, oh boy, if I got to go to the lobby, if I got to do whatever to have this discussion. And also, I'm also going to tell you too, you know what, wait till I get back from my trip for us to have this conversation, because it's unfair to come and try to tell me this and I'm not in a place or available to do it. Because it could be a guy's trip, it could be a girl's trip. You trying to have a real relational conversation, and I'm on a trip regardless of who it's with, then I got to address that when I get home.
But Anitra, there's a lot of risk in what you're doing as far as trying to find someone, because
who
said that was the goal? Who said that was the goal?
A huge risk on missing out on true love. So
who said that was the goal?
But see, that's the thing. I think you got to mix up what she's saying is that what's the goal? Like, she may not be in that place to try to do that. She's living her best life. She might not be looking for love. I didn't say I was looking for, I led with, I'm not looking for a relationship. Yeah. So at the end of the day, it's a risk. You're taking a risk dating somebody who's clearly said they're not looking for a relationship.
Okay, can I ask this question? Anitra, what school did you go to?
Oh, Spelman College.
Okay, yeah, that's okay. I got you. Okay, so you tell us what is the ultimate goal, Anitra? What is the goal? What do you want?
Have a good time.
If you could write the story, tell me how you would write it.
I think so. Where I'm at in where Anitra is at in her life today. Anitra is not looking for a relationship. Will that put me at now? Does that mean I'm immune to catching feelings with the people that I may date? No, that's not. That does not make me immune to that, because I'm not just an emotionless person, and I'm not going to vibe and have a dope time with somebody or somebody's just from being like, okay, pull your pants down, let's do this. Like, that's not just how I move in life. But at the end of the day, today, Anitra is not looking for a relationship. Next year, guess what? March, I could be in a different place, because it's based on what I want to do right now, because it's my life. Now, if I happen to meet some people, or if I happen to miss out, at the end of the day, it's tough. But I'm also a believer, what's meant to be will be.
So let me ask you a question, Anitra. If a man takes you on a trip, right? You feel obligated, get ready for the trip. I know I'm about to get this nigga some pussy.
Whoa,
let's be clear. So let's be clear. I'm not the average chick. I can take my own ass on a trip.
No,
so
but
that's not going to impress me. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. You're not impressing me with taking me on a trip.
I know you can take yourself on your own trip. You can buy your own Louis Vuitton.
So I don't feel like I'm going to have to.
I'm asking, if the guy pays for the trip, right? Anitra, I'm going to take you to Turks and Caicos. And you say, oh my God, let's go. He sets the date. He sends you the tickets. You packing your bags. Going on this trip, do you have it in your mind, I'm going to give him some pussy?
First of all,
can we use the word sex?
I got it. So let's be
one
clear.
One more, we block your screen.
I'm not expecting a look. Let's say the P word or something, or break them off.
Yeah,
I told you, no filter.
I gotta break them off. No, but this question, a lot of women try to skate around, and Anitra seems to be pretty real and authentic, right?
No. So at the end of the day,
skate around this trick.
Wayne, let her talk. Wayne, you over talking.
So, at the end of the day, if I'm going to in an international country with somebody, it's safe to say he done already got some before we made it to Turks and Caicos. this is not going to be the first, or this is the unveiling.
That's real talk.
Unpeeling of us smash. Like, this is not some prize he gets because he took me somewhere. Because I can take like I said, I can take my own self anywhere I want to go. So for me, like I said, I'm different. Trips and gifts and stuff that I can do for myself, that's not setting you apart. That's really not going to set. Does that allow for me to have great experiences and like the next person? Hell yeah. But at the end of the day, the expectation you about to get some, I'm not going to another country with somebody who I probably already ain't gave some to.
Okay. So what I'm hearing, Wing, from her is she's not going to go for the $40.
Yeah, I'm not asking for $40 to pay a bill. And at this age, with no kids, I should not, and I work a whole job. If I'm asking you for $40, I'm gonna need you to run the other way. But some men want to be saviors, and that's just not me.
But D,
let me say something. Let me say something, right? Now, I know, and I hate to speak for you, D, but we understand the male psyche, right? Mm-hmm. Now, female says to you she's not looking for a relationship, and then we have this saying, I'm gonna get the milk without buying the cow. Mm-hmm. That's like a wide open door.
That's a gift. That's an
alley-oop.
gift.
It's a gift. It is. It's an alley-oop. It's a ground ball. So I'm going to say guys that are pretty savvy, like there's never going to be a relationship because you made that statement. Never, ever going to be a relationship. They're going to exploit that situation as much as they can to their favor. They are. But the thing is, you got to be prepared for that, Anitra, too. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, when you tell a man that you're not looking for a relationship, but you continue to see him, you're hanging out, you're doing your thing, you gotta expect at some point he's gonna let you know that he don't take you seriously.
That goes both ways.
Yeah, it does go both ways. It does go both ways. But I'm just letting you know how man's psyche works.
That's also the risk. But I also, once again, I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying I've been hurt. But what I'm saying is you have a grown woman who's emotionally mature and stable enough recognizes that risk when you start to catch feelings. And that's the risk that I play too in it. Like, okay, I have to realize if something's changing right now and I'm catching feelings, I got to be woman enough to say something. And I also got to be woman enough to walk away, because you got to be real with yourself. And I think sometimes people play the games people play is, well, I'm going to say I'm not really looking for a relationship, but, I might be able to try to get him into a relationship when you play yourself. Because then he's going to be like, what?
Yeah.
I said from the jump, that's not what I wanted to do.
Correct. Because when it comes from a woman initially, like we said, that's a ground ball for men. That's heaven. And the thing is, he's still going to be out there doing this thing where whoever he wants to rock with too. Like I said, it goes both ways. But like I say, there's repercussions for it.
Yeah, and there's a risk and there's also repercussions for dating one person at a time.
Anitra, let me ask you this question: if you were a man and you were trying to get with Anitra and you just wanted her to be your one and only exclusively, what would you do to try to get Anitra?
Well, unfortunately, you're not gonna get that answer because you're trying to get the rules, the code to the cheat code. So
she don't want to give up the combination.
Anitra, I can't tell you how many men that I know that come to me every day. How can I get with Anitra? And I like, look, you just have to pray about it. But they don't want to do that. They want to work to see if they can win Anitra over. And I want to know they need to have a chance, Anitra. What can you tell these men? Because I can't take it no more.
For instance, I would guess you got to listen to her. If Anitra says she's not ready for a relationship, you don't need to pursue Anitra.
So you just hang around. You try to hang around.
You can. I'm not saying necessarily you get friend zone, but like at the end of the day, you got it. And that's the same thing with women, because we do this so much to ourselves. A guy would be like, I'm not looking for anything serious, right? But he may take you out for your birthday. He might buy you flowers. He might, whatever, check on you when you go home for Christmas, whatever. Or might even take you to hang out with his friends. But sis, until he clearly says with his lips, regardless of how many things he might do, because he can be doing that for 4 other people, he told you he wasn't trying to do anything serious. The actions you're perceiving are to be serious things and serious actions and saying, oh my gosh, he's trying to get serious with me. When really, no, he's just being a nice guy, or that's just how he dates. He likes you, but he just doesn't want to commit to you. There are a couple of people I've liked, and I'm like, well, but still, I don't want to commit to you. Like,
No, I got you.
we can continue to so at the end of the day,
At least
you
let
gotta
it be
you
known.
gotta listen to the person for where they are in life. And if they're not at that space, just like the person who's been divorced for 2 years, been single, doing great, and they're telling you, like, you're like, I'm trying to hook you up, and they're like, well, I'm not really trying to be into anything.
That's fair. That's a good point. Chicken Wing, I gotta tell you, she won this round, brother. A lot of people thought Chicken Wing was gonna. What happened? We need the wing back, brother.
I don't know, Wing, man. She had.
Yo, Wing, the scorecard have you losing.
It's looking crazy right now. It's looking crazy. Yeah.
Everybody's talking. She had a good minute to talk and say her thing.
All right, go ahead, Wing. Break it down, brother.
Yeah, brother.
Here's my rebuttal to a couple of things, Anitra.
Go ahead, rebut that.
Go ahead.
When you said, for example, the number one thing, when you said, I'm not like these other women out here, I'm different, right? When you say that to a man, it sounds like Charlie Brown's teacher, right? We don't hear that. We don't hear
I agree. I agree.
Listen, because there's not a woman out here that's going to meet you and tell you, oh, I'm like all these other women. They all say they're not like any other women. Right.
I
So
agree.
when you say, and number
Just
two,
like y'all say that same shit.
now listen, also number two, listen, a woman
I'm
with
different,
absolutely nothing, that can do nothing for herself, will say to a man, right? Knowing she can't. I can do for myself. So when you say that, I can take myself on my own trips, right? But as soon as I said, Nitra, let's go on a trip, you pay for you, I pay for me, you got a problem with that, right?
No,
so that sounds like, when a woman says that to a man, that sounds like Charlie Brown's teacher, right? So when you say that, it means nothing. But let me tell you what men do here, and one of the gentlemen here hit on it. They do hear when I'm not looking for a serious relationship. They hear that loud and clear.
Yep.
Right? Because that says, like Ross said, it says, oh, this is just what I'm looking for. And they're not going to take you serious, right? So you then may miss out on something that you really long for in life. You may get older and say, why I don't have this? Because you busy missing it, telling them that you're not looking for a serious relationship. So a lot of things that you do and say, right, and you come with this attitude, right, to a lot of men, that is alarm for like, oh, yo, come and get it. Yeah. Because all I gotta do, I got treated nice, we're gonna go on some trips. She's just looking for a good time. And that's what most men are looking for. Men are looking for a good time. Let me tell you one thing about men, and then I'm done talking. I'm gonna tell you something about men really good. Everything men do, they do it for women. When a man gets a new car, listen, when a man gets a new car, I'm gonna pull up on them hoes, yo. When a young man gets a new chain, I'm gonna bling on them bitches, yo. When he gets some new,
that's freaking sick.
New clothes. Listen, wait till the women see me in this, right? That's what he does. He does it for the women. Men are out here looking for women. It's like a game of cat and mouse. So you are the perfect prey. They're like, oh, this is one that I can, the low hanging fruit.
And
I told you, Z.
Can I make a prediction? Can I make a prediction?
Listen, you're gonna get your good. You're gonna get your.
I think everybody that's viewing knows how this is gonna go. Everybody viewing this knows how this is gonna go. Everybody viewing this knows how this is gonna go. 1 year from now, we're gonna come back and see how this marriage is going. I can tell you right now. No, you can see it. This is it right here. I can see it right there. It is a match made in heaven. And let me say something. Yes, it's gonna be there. Wing, tell whoever you with right now, it's a wrap. Right now, Anitra is the new. That's it. I can see it. I can see it. There you go.
Yeah. Nope. But I will say, I think what you're saying is true, and you can say it's low hanging fruit. But you also, one thing is, you've never been me. I've never been you. I respect what men and different things and different approaches to how men handle things. But I also know what's off-putting is if you say we about to take a trip, it's going to be 3,000, 1,500 me, 1,500 you. And I'm going to be like, what? Okay, bet. I got this. Most men, they're not most, because I'm not going to talk in absolutes. But there are some men who will be like, huh, what? So you don't need me to sponsor the whole trip? And some of them that throws them off because that also brings a certain level of quote unquote perceived power that she has to be like, if you don't make the trip, I'm still going. So if you can come up with 1,000 and I got 1,500 versus, oh, if I come up with 1,000 and he got his 1,500, he gonna be like, oh, you want me to spot you to 500? So a lot of men, I know I probably threaten or make certain men nervous where they're like, well, she got it, so I'm really, all I got is to offer myself and my dick. I don't know if that's gonna be enough to hold her attention. Oh well.
No. Guys are thinking like that now.
Yo, listen. When I say she got her own money, she got her own money.
My thing is, if you said
I don't even know the last time I asked my parents for some money for something.
Yo, if you set the standard though, if a man can do it and he's interested, he's gonna meet it. You know what I mean? So maybe that's a good point. Maybe you just need to go and set your trip and say, hey, listen, why don't you come along or whatever, and you already know what he's working with if he make it along with you and come along.
Because I'm dealing with somebody right now. That's how we roll.
You can't be dealing with nobody because you're not looking for nothing serious.
Nope.
That's cool.
You got a point. You got a point.
No. What I'm saying is dealing with somebody. There's one person, there's multiple people, but one person. That's how we roll. It's like you got this, you got that. Because we just friends with benefits. But that's it at the end of the day. But there's at the end of the day, I'm messing with people that when we're doing something, you got you, I got me, okay, bet. What we doing? Okay. Now, am I gonna pass up a free meal? No, I'm just like the next lady. But if it's not free, I'm okay. Because I'm not, at the end of the day, I'm also not a fan of men overly investing.
So you won't pass up a free meal?
I don't have any kind of number. So like, hey, to Ruth Chris, I feel that's dumb because you don't know me. And you spending too much money trying to, like you said, impress women.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I say start off with drinks. And guess what? If you sit up there and be like, "Hey, you got this," at the end of the day, I'm not gonna cut off a dude just because he maybe paid for my drinks, but I also know what he coming with. So okay, that's what you want to do. That's fine. And I know that entering in, if I have another date with him, or if I decide to smash, like I already know what I'm doing.
Would you be cool with making more money than a guy, though? Would you be cool with making more money than a guy?
Yeah, as long as you're not gonna be sitting here trying to tell me how I'm spending my money or what. But also know, just like his niece said last week, is the lifestyle that I have afforded myself. And if it's not something you're used to, you can't, once again, mind the business that pays you. If you're not paying bills over here, worry about yourself.
It sounds like Anitra, most of the guys she's dealing with, she does make more money than. That's the issue, Anitra?
To me, it's not an issue because I don't.
Do you find that? Do you find that the average guy that you make more money than them?
All right, Anitra make good money. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Listen,
that's what's up.
I tell you, she got her own money. Anitra make a ring.
That's beautiful.
Now, Anitra, let me ask you this question: have you always felt like this, or did something happen to you?
No,
no.
I will say this: I have not always thought like this, but I found through life. One, there are no rules when it comes to dating or this person or this perception. At the end of the day, I could be a year from now, be like, yeah, I was saying that, and guess what? One of them got me. And you'll ask me how they got me. I should be able to say how they got me. But at the end of the day, on the flip side, I've noticed that having this, some people, I know some people who have been celibate, who've been virgins when they got married, and they are now divorced. And I've also noticed people who have multiple kids and is in happy marriages with multiple baby daddies, baby mamas. So I've learned there is not a prescriptive way of how to approach dating, but doing what works for you. And for me, this is what works because this is what I'm seeking from this season in my life. And when I turn 38, 39, 40, I might be in a different place, but today this is where I'm at, and I'm going to live my best life on the terms of Anitra, not of my mom, not of y'all, not of my best friends. And then if you're my best friend, you're gonna be like, hey sis, do you? It's your life, be responsible, and just live your life. But I have not always thought this way.
I heard crackhead say the same thing. I'm gonna live my best life.
Oh, chicken wing.
He tried it. That's okay.
Chicken wing.
That's okay. That's okay.
Chicken wing.
Women, we used to that.
Chicken wing. Listen,
they tried, but they
Vic, you can't insult other guests. You can't do that.
Cracker said the same thing.
That wasn't even his fault.
That's life.
Nah, don't talk. No, come on, man. Let the lady. No. Come on.
Yo,
mute his picture.
You talk to my man Wing like that.
Wing. You trying to throw that little left hook? She ducked it. She didn't duck far.
Anitra, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think what happens is this. I think one of the fears for men is when we see women, we assumed a lot of us are raised to believe that women are all looking for a relationship, and I think when we see that and it's not, it throws us. It's almost like when a woman tells you she has a problem, a dude wants to go into how to solve it, and like they say, a woman is sometimes just telling you they have one, they don't need your help with it, and so I think that kind of throws us, and I think it's just our natural desire to just try to figure out, no, there must be a way. There must be, there's got to be something. She was either hurt before or something like that. And I think that's what it is. But I respect the fact that you know who you are, you know where you're at right now. And that honesty is good because, people can never say they don't know where you stand. That's
you didn't know about the other dude. So if you was the dude that was calling me after I left the trip with you, your first question should be, hey, what's going on? Where you at? Oh, I'm out. I'm on the trip with my friend. He and I went to such and such place. And guess what he gonna say? Oh, she out with another one of her dudes. I'm gonna have to wait till she gets back, and I'm not about to have this deep ass conversation about having feelings for her.
No, he gonna be like, I ain't fucking with her. She left with some other.
Yeah, I'm gonna say most guys is gonna say they're gonna pull out. They're gonna.
A
real guy is probably gonna pull out. A real guy.
As he should.
He gonna be like,
as he should. Yeah. But he played himself.
From to live with me, shit, Turkey Keiko to another guy.
Yeah.
He played himself.
But this is the thing.
Women,
you have to understand.
No woman wants to hear that.
You gotta understand when these men see the incomparable beauty of Anitra, it's hard for them to manage it. That's it. You gotta understand that. It's hard. What are they supposed to do, Anitra? What are they supposed to do?
Be a pastor?
Huh?
That's the friend that used to be a pastor, Kelvin.
Wing, I'm trying to bring the women viewers and the sponsors back. Back. You're not working with a brother.
That was beautiful. That's what I said.
So you man, we gotta work with us, man. You gotta work with us, man.
Yeah.
Lord.
But no,
this is the last words.
But also, that's the risk that everybody takes when you date, regardless of whatever it is. Just like the risk I'm saying, hey, I'm dating multiple people and I'm letting you know. And if you catch feelings, you got to decide, is it worth it to risk it or to fall back? And the flip side, I've been telling him I'm dating other people, but I really like him the best. Guess what? I got to be willing to, first of all, if I'm feeling you that way, I'm already going to start pushing away the other parts of the team. And like all y'all men, before I do, let me have this conversation to see what he feel about it. And if he is giving me energy and I'm having a very clear conversation about what I want us to do next, and he's not doing it, he doesn't feel the same, then that's also a real woman, just like a real man. A real woman is going to say, you know what, I got to step back because he told me, I clearly asked, he clearly told me, and I got to step back. And hey, let's continue to work with the bench.
Well, that said, that was good. So you get the last word, Anitra. Listen, I want to thank you both for coming out today. I'm going to lead with thank you, sister. Really appreciate this good conversation. Wing, we probably lost every single sponsor. Anybody thinking about giving us any kind of money?
I told you, D. I told you this was going to happen.
Thank you for that. So, but we may have to use Cash App now just to get this funding to bring this to you next week. We don't know. We might need $40 from Wing now just to get the show going.
But listen, Wing, you know what you got to do for it. You know what you got to do.
So, Wing, anything you want to plug? Anything you want to talk about?
Oh, no, just follow my page, the Chicken Wing Show, _chicken_show_. Wing, the Chicken Wing Show on Instagram. And I'm not really plugging nothing. I'm just out having a good time, trying to put smiles on the people's face during the pandemic, trying to make them laugh. Anitra, I mean no harm by the crack.
Oh, I didn't take it as such.
I was just saying, everybody says they out here. When they out here ruining their lives, they out here saying, "Oh, I'm just living my best life."
Listen, Wing, we truly appreciate it for coming on the show today. Anitra, anything you want to plug? And Anitra, you probably saved us from getting some women sponsors back. So thank you, sis.
And like I said, he didn't offend me because he don't know me. So
listen, I want to come back and talk about prison though. Let me know when I come back and do that.
Oh Lord, y'all really won't get any sponsorships.
Yeah, we gonna get nothing. I won't hear no stories about Oz.
I can tell about dating in prison. I can tell you about dating.
No.
Oh my God.
Oh Lord. But no,
Oh,
I don't
my
have
God.
anything I want to plug. I just want to say I commend y'all for doing what y'all doing. Continue to be authentically yourselves. Hey, the sky's the limit. So
Anybody want to
Thank you.
Are you on the gram? Do you want these guys to jump into, not these guys, but other guys jump into your DMs? Do you have any Instagram?
No, I have a public page, so it don't matter. So what is it? Diva Anitra.
Diva Anitra. Okay. Please. Thank you all for coming tonight. Thank you, and thank you.
You're welcome.
You guys have a good night.
Be safe and stay black. Whoa. Man, oh man.
Whoa.
Yeah, man, I don't know how that's gonna work out, man. I'm telling you.
It's over for us. It's over for us. It's over.
We had a good run. We had a good run.
Yeah. We made it 4 episodes.
Man, what's going on, man?
It's amazing how one guy can come on the show and just take everything from us.
Oh my
in one show.
Listen, I'm about to smoke weed and have a drink tonight, and might have some crack.
Okay, very, very quickly. What did you guys learn tonight? What did you learn tonight?
I gotta pick better friends in life. My friends really reflect who I am now. So I really got some people looking at me. I gotta really think this over now. So
wow.
But no,
people, man, for real.
But really with Anitra, like I really understand. Like she looked like, listen, it's a double standard out here for a long time with these women, these guys, the men's relationships. I know some people say some things women can't do that men can do, but I respect it. And she's comfortable in her own skin, and she's happy. I'm happy. So that's what I got from it. And chicken wing, Lord, I have to put that boy in therapy.
God,
that boy needs some help, man. I don't know what to do.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I just want to apologize, everybody. Every year I do a little Halloween party. You know what I mean? With my family. And because it's COVID, this is very important. So what happens is, it's a way that we can kind of keep the kids safe and everything. So if you hear a lot of noise going in the background, just understand I got a whole situation going on here in the other room.
Derek is live on location. Covering one of the Halloween parties. That's being a good father, brother.
Hey, man.
There you go. There you go.
So the kids enjoying themselves, cousins and friends and all that, man.
That's being a good black man, man. That's being a good black man. That changed that whole narrative, like no good black man. I told somebody like this, the only thing I know is good black men. I was raised by a good black man. My uncle, good black man. The men on my block, I have nothing but examples of good black men.
I was raised by good black men too, but I do know plenty that are not. I gotta admit, the ones that got my Red Bull machine, I know them. Ray and Boogie,
because they ain't about nothing. Right.
I told you it was the 2 dudes from the movie Barbershop that took you to the
Oh man. With that said, my brothers, I just want to say thank you again for a great show. Man, I love you all, man. Just be safe.
Love you too, D. Love you.
It's an honor.
Love you too, brother.
Honor, man. So I'll catch you next week on another great topic or something. So we'll see what. Well, the election coming up. Whoa.
Yeah, we ain't dealt with that yet, man.
When we come back, we'll have with the election of the
know.
correct?
We'll know. We're either going to be smiling or we're not.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Listen, yeah, I think.
Get out there and vote. Do it.
Derek, give me a couple of those drinks, Derek, on Wednesday night. So
brother, man, y'all supposed to be sitting with me. You already see what I'm working with tonight, man. You know what I mean? Especially after chicken wing, I had to get ready. I saw him coming. I said, "Yeah, I gotta get ready."
And to all the viewers, thank you.
All the viewers, thank you. Oh yeah. All the viewers, thank you. Please like and subscribe. If anyone that wants to give us ads, like please hit us up. You can email me DemonPearson@gmail.com. Please get an inbox. So we really want to help each other out. Like we really would love for some of our friends that got these. Have businesses. I know a lot of black women are the #1 entrepreneurs in the country right now. So we need help. We want to promote y'all. You helping us, we want to help you back. So please, hit us up early because everybody's like, I'm gonna do a commercial, but they give it to us late, and then we don't have enough time to help out with the editing and stuff like that. So try to get to us early in the week, please. Thank you. All right, peace, brothers. I'll see y'all next week, man.
Hey, y'all. Peace.